everybody, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing Wonder Woman #1 from 1987. So this is not the actual, you know, first issue ever of Wonder Woman. This is the rebooted era of Wonder Woman. Um, so I'll just go into, my introduction to Wonder Woman was, of course, Linda Carter, who will always be, my Wonder Woman or whatever. I've been in, love with that woman for just eternity. Still watch the show today since they have it on like HBO Max and everything. Yeah, I've always loved that. So that got me into the comic book character. And of course, I read a lot of Wonder Woman comics and everything. I have like a huge run of this from 1987. So I've got like maybe, I don't know, 30 some issues, 3 or 4 years that I ran with it. But let's go ahead and jump into this, right? So this is, the George Perez like reboot of Wonder Woman. The artwork in this book is insanely incredible, and I just want to also go on record here. I have I pulled out a bunch of these issues, but then I remembered I had the collected edition of this, and if you look at like the first page here, right, you can see the difference in print quality. Of course, this is on newsprint as well. But you can just see here, like, colors and everything. There's a lot of, look how much darker it is here with what you're getting, right? How washed out that is. I don't know if it's actually due to age or if that's how it was printed in the beginning. And again, it's George Perez. Like, the guy's artwork is absolutely insane. I've never seen anybody who could draw so tiny on a page. Just everything is always just so tiny. It's not a thing that I'm capable of doing. I don't know. I draw big. It's just always been a thing with me. The only thing that stands out to me every time I look at this first page is this picture right here, right? We have this is Caveman, right? He had his hand bitten off by whatever he was hunting, which I think was a saber-toothed tiger, right? And he came back to his cave defeated, and his cave girl wife or whatever, cave wife, she tries to make him feel better, but he, I don't know, he's been emasculated because he's no longer able to hunt for food. And you can see the anger welling up here, but it's this. It's like, this is not how the eye should be angled. So this whole picture comes off as very weird. It's just something that always stands out to me. Whenever I see it, I'm just like, that's the worst thing I'll ever see George Perez do. Everything else is, of course, amazing, right? But he gets basically pissed off that she's trying to comfort him, and he doesn't feel that he's much of a man anymore, so he kills her, okay? I'm thinking that this is just like a prologue to how women feel about men, how men have always, like, I don't know, treated women or something like that, right? It's like, I don't know, the way, this is. So now we go to Mount Olympus, right? 1200 BC. We've got the Greek gods here. We've got Hermes running. This is amazing, right? Like, just amazing artwork here. Again, with George Perez, okay? We have Ares laying it out for everybody that they need to go the path of war and not this other path or whatever. That's because it's Ares, and everybody's kind of arguing against him and everything. And they're talking about creating a new race of people to worship them. And this person here, I can't remember who it is at the moment, but she is saying that the new race should be women, and Ares is fighting against that, and then Zeus is like, you know what? Fuck everybody, I'm tired of hearing you guys argue, I'm just going to leave and you guys do what you guys are going to do, right? That's like Zeus's signature, you know what I mean? After a little debate and everything, they decide that they are going to go ahead without Zeus's blessing and create this race, and it's going to be of women, right? So they catch Charon the ferryman and have him take them to where all of these souls are. So these are souls that have belonged to the living, uh, swirling around or whatever in like a limbo, and they decided to use these souls and kind of reincarnate them into what we're going to get here. Like the souls go through the portal, come out onto Earth here, and you can see that they are women being born in this pool of water. Okay, and then the gods kind of tell the women like who they are, what they're there for. Okay, and they give them Gaia's girdle, and they let the women know, here's your paradise, here's what this is, you know, uh, yeah. So just so you get an idea of like how the Amazons were born, right? They're saying that you're going to be this race of warrior women. You're going to be stronger, faster, smarter, more wise, and everything. And that was a gift from each of the gods. Okay. Later on, here we meet Heracles. Okay, and Heracles is I guess just finishing up with this woman here, and this woman is kind of mocking him. Okay, she's talking about he's cursed, right? He has to do whatever Eurystheus tells him to do. It's a madness. Like he can't not do it. He has to do that. So she's basically calling him Eurystheus's trained dog, and he's getting a little upset about that. But she keeps mocking him, and as you can see here, he grabs her, and she doesn't waver. And of course, when he storms out of there angry, because he's going to go conquer these warrior women, right? These Amazons. When he leaves, you can see here that the body of this woman starts burning, and it was actually a puppet controlled by Ares in order to set these things in motion. Okay, and then here's Ares basically laying out his plan. Okay, again, just awesome artwork all over the place. Just we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 panels on a page. I just don't feel like that's a thing that a lot of people can do. I've done it only because I was kind of forced to do it. This is much better than whatever I would have done. But in some of the comics that I've drawn, that I've been hired to draw, the writer doesn't write like it's made for comics. He writes like, it's made more for a movie because that's what he wants to do. So when you've got a lot of back and forth talking between characters, and you can't put that into like one panel, right? So you have to end up, go back and forth with these characters while they're having this conversation or whatever. And I don't necessarily agree with that. But I've drawn many, many pages of talking heads, which is something that I just thoroughly hate. But again, you have this many panels here, and that's not what you have going on. This is masterful storytelling here, right? So this is better than anything I've ever done. So again, Ares laying out his plan, Heracles showing up to the Amazons city, and they're telling him, hey, we don't want to fight you. We want to do this peacefully. We could be allies instead. And Heracles is like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm here to conquer you guys, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So he attacks Hippolyte, and Hippolyte just tosses him around like he's nothing. He lifts a tree out of the ground to attack her with, and she easily evades it, knocks him down again, has him at sword point here. He's bested, and she's afraid, or everybody's actually afraid, that Heracles is going to respond in anger. He's going to be more angry, and he's going to want to fight more. But instead, he starts laughing, and he's like thoroughly impressed that these women warriors were able to defeat him so easily, no less. So they decide to, party and live in peace and everything. And while Heracles is having a drink with Hippolyte, she, after the drink, you can see here she's being poisoned, right? And she's weakened by whatever he gave her, and then he knocks her out. Okay, another panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 panels on a page. This book is filled with content. This is a hefty read here for 75 cents, right? This book here just has a ton. Again, I've shown videos of books that I've gotten where there were 10 words of dialogue, and it was just, again, I'm going to pull it up. It was a Dungeons and Dragons comic, right? And it's a dwarf going through a cave, and we have no idea who this dwarf is, and we have no idea what the story is. He goes through a fucking cave. That's it, right? That was like a $4, $5 comic book, right? And you got no content. It was the biggest waste of money I've ever seen. And then we have this here, right? Now, I understand these books came out like 30 years apart, but that doesn't matter, right? 75 cents at that time would be $4 now. You know what I mean? So this is the content you're getting at that time versus the content you would get now. And it just, I don't know, that just kind of blows my mind. But anyway, so here, the city is burned. Hippolyte wakes up. She's in chains. She's bound. And Heracles is, of course, just beating the crap out of her and everything. And she's, in total misery for this. She's failed her Amazons. They made a horrible mistake trying to put trust into men and everything. And then they get a visit from one of the goddesses, or Athena. Okay, that's who I was trying to remember. And Athena tells them, you've lost your way. You forgot why we created you. You forgot the gifts that we gave you. I'm going to release you, but I'm not going to release you for vengeance. You have to be better than that. That's man's way, right? So she is released, and she starts making some, there's a bright light and everything coming from the dungeon door. And this guard is like, I better go in there and check. And then, of course, he sees Hippolyte here chained up and nude. And he's like, well, here's my chance. And then she just beats the hell out of him, of course, right? And she frees the rest of the Amazons. They leave. Now, we do have another Amazon here, okay? One who seems to be relishing in the revenge, right? Like, not just fighting for freedom, but fighting out of anger, right? As a revenge thing here, okay? And it's Antiope, okay? Antiope is the one who is taking too much pleasure in this, and Hippolyte is telling her this is not what Athena wanted us to do. Athena wants us to do a different path. And Antiope is like, well, no, I'm going to leave you guys because, my life is now dedicated to taking out all the men who would do us harm and everything, right? I'm not going to turn the other cheek, okay? And that's what Hippolyte wanted. She leads the Amazons out of that city, and the gods appear again, and they're like, we are going to take you to a place that is a literal paradise. And when you step foot on this paradise, you're going to be immortal, okay? You're going to live forever, and this is your land, and it's going to be hidden from everybody else, and you're going to develop it, and this will be Paradise Island. So Poseidon splits the waters, and it took them months of traveling through this this tunnel of water that Poseidon created, where they were afraid the water was going to crash down on them at any time and kill them, but it never did. And when they got to this island, they were immediately rejuvenated, right? Like, because now they're immortal, so all their strength came back to them. They didn't have to worry about eating or anything like that, and they immediately began building, clearing out the trees, creating their Paradise Island, okay? And then one day we have Hippolyte here, right? This is 3,000 years later, actually, okay? So they built Paradise Island. 3,000 years later, Hippolyte is feeling this strange urge, right? She's going to see their seer, their prophet, right? And she's like, hey, there's something going on with me, and I don't know what it is. And the seer is like, oh, that's because you are a reincarnated soul. And when your life was taken the first time, you were actually pregnant. And your motherly urges are coming through because it's basically like your soul was still pregnant. So what you have to do is you have to go down to this beach, and you have to take the clay at this beach and form an image of the child that you see in your head or whatever. Okay? And that's what she does. And then all of the gods come in and give this clay child something from themselves, right? Like Demeter gives power and strength, and Aphrodite gives beauty and love, and Athena gets wisdom. And all of these are traveling down into this clay baby here, bringing Diana to life, okay? And that's where she gets christened with the name Diana, okay? And then, of course, Diana grows up, becoming basically better than all of the Amazons at everything she does. She excels in every way. She was truly, blessed by the gods. And then Penelope says that, they have to do the test because they have to go out into man's world, right? To basically like learn what's going on here, or take their wisdom into man's world. So there's going to be a contest, okay? And the contest is going to determine who from Paradise Island will leave and go into man's world to do this mission, okay? And of course, Diana wants to do it, but Hippolyta is like, no, can't be my daughter. So Diana gets visited by Athena, and Athena's like, hey, you do need to do this because you need to be the one to go into man's world. You're the one that we blessed, and you're the one that's going to be our champion. So the contest is done where the women, the Amazons, are wearing masks, and they say they did that because, all of them are sisters. They've all lived together for 3,000 years. They've all loved each other, and it's going to be hard for one Amazon to fight another when they're best friends. But if they're wearing a mask, then they're all faceless people that they won't hold back against, okay? So with all of the trials complete, the winner, of course, is Diana, okay? And Diana, so the mother's like, no, I can't, I've got to forbid this or whatever. And Penelope is like, no, you can't do that because she won and she was chosen by the gods. And she's going to have to do the test of the flashing thunder, right? Now, the Amazon's garb here, you can see they're all wearing the bracelets. And these are basically the manacles of when they were first captured by Heracles and the other men and tortured and, abused and stuff like that. And this is a reminder. The gods told them that they're going to wear these bracelets because of that. So they've made that part of their uniform, and they also, is like a defense thing that they use, right? So she's going to get these bracelets, and that's what she's going to have to use in the test of the flashing thunder. And they take her into the temple where they have that. And we can see here that is, the flashing thunder is actually a gun. They got a gun from man's world. And this is to show the Amazons what it is to expect when they go into man's world, right? So Diana's like, I'm not afraid. We can do this. So they start firing, And what's wild is, to me, I would have thought that it would have been like one bullet, right? that they would have fired. And if they blocked it, that would be it. But no, they keep letting off with it. And I do love this like animation here, right? Of each firing. It's like Diana's doing it without like even realizing that she's doing it, right? It's like something else is like got, control over. Basically, it's her instincts, her reflexes are what's doing it. And she's like totally surprised the whole time. But she's also amazed at what this flashing thunder is, right? She's just like, who would conceive of a weapon like this, Their weapons are swords and shields and the bow and arrows and everything, After 3,000 years, they've, stayed with what they know. They haven't like moved on and tried to create other weapons because that's not their way. So when Diana here beats this test, then she is granted access to the armory where she would be able to don her warrior's clothes for her mission into man's world. And that, of course, is Wonder Woman's outfit with this awesome picture here. And can I just say, we have this battle axe here, and we have the spear and the helmet and the shield, the cape, right? All of this stuff that George Perez gave Wonder Woman, right? It's absolutely awesome. And I love it. I love seeing those pictures where you get, that type of stuff from Wonder Woman. And again, like right here, we have, this image here of all of the armor that she's wearing and everything, right? The colors and all that. It's just awesome to look at. And then, like, here we are with the cape. again, right, the cape is just awesome. Like that blue cape kind of really sets it off there. Uh, in the back, we have pictures again of her wearing, this armor. And of course, you can see here that these were like recolored, digitally colored images, right? Look at that. That is just gorgeous artwork there, right? So yeah, that's again, this is all George Perez, okay? But yeah, so there we go. That was Wonder Woman #1. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be doing more from this series because, like I said, I have a bunch of this. If you guys like the video, please hit like. If you want to see more like this, hit subscribe. It really helps me out. And I want to thank you guys for watching. See you next time.